Hello all. Today's video, good day, good rising, is about these little units here. What are we on? Saturday the 27th. Good rising to my scribes and fam. These boxes here are in a property when you already take up the tenancy. So when you come to an agreement of a tenancy, UK contract law, how would we put this? You sign a tenancy and you agree to be the tenant and you sign a tenancy agreement. If in that tenancy agreement there is the supply and the meters mentioned for the ease of the landlord, then the landlord as property owner, when I say property owner, yes, I hear what you're saying, but the landlord who's renting the property, responsible for renting the property on a legal basis, has the property and has the contracts with the companies. The tenant will move in and get the contract for the tenancy, and in there it will state there are prepayment token meters. Now with these prepayment token meters you will have a standing charge. Now I'm going to look into the issue of, as our Queen Anne-Marie agreed to that standing charge within that tenancy agreement. If there is a little loophole there to say that the electricity, domestic utility and gas supply that are both on the token meter system, if you're not familiar with the token meter system, it's a box with a hole in it there, and what you do is you get a key, you take it to the shop, has a little chip, if I can do this with one hand, on the end you charge up the old chip and pin at the shop, and then you come back and you insert it and it transfers the charges. Now military standing charge, imagine an army facing another army, they are standing and at some point they're going to charge towards each other, are they not? Horses, tanks, aeroplanes, foot soldiers, standing charges. Yes, interesting. You know what we're like with the phonics and the words and whatnot. So that's a you know, a corporate term of the warfare that we're in at present. So if anybody has got any information as to how to circumvent the standing charges under UK contract law with regards to the tenancy agreements that one signs, has one consented to the standing charges with the supply from the domestic utility companies within that contract? If the answer is no, then there is argument to say that the charges can be passed on. I will give you more updates later on. This Saturday, it's my day of rest, so you won't hear much from me till later or tomorrow. What else have we got? Updates for PCN, that's coming, video number 5. And the psoriasis silver water update will be coming to you later. So I appreciate it's not such a pretty picture, but there you go. If that's your electric, we can go this way. And for those of you that are unfortunate enough to have the other one, which will be your hello there, gas box. Now it's convenient for the landlord. Is it convenient for the utility, domestic, customer, what else, credit, consumer credit? Yes, you are a consumer apparently in the legal public area. Look at the consumer credit, and yes, these units per you know, are more than what the units per are when you have a quarterly bill. So very interesting. I'll be interested to see what your comments are, and if you have done this already or know somebody that's done this, then great. I'd like to chat and see what go on. We'll say morning. Hello, here I am. Thank you, live trying again. Good rising, brother Andrew. Got one of them, you know about it then. I have this. All right, Atom, Shiva Boom Om. Hello there, big up yourselves. Have a good Saturday. Yes, Andy, thank you, brother. You have on gas too. All right then, just an interesting point, so bear with us and we will outline that as we go along, and I will put that in principle to the relevant. I don't think the landlords are going to be too happy though. You write to your landlords and say that you're passing on a charge for your electricity and your gas. It might aggravate them. So it's just food for thought. If you have a meter, Anne-Marie, when we went to Hungary, how much was on the electric box? About a tenner, and we come back there was £3.
Yeah.
So we used £7 by leaving a fridge on. It appears, yeah, there was about a tenner on the 12th of April. We come back on the 19th of April. I dropped you off, and you told me that there was £7 gone, and we only left the fridge on. So work that out. Does a fridge cost £7 worth of electric to run for the week? I don't think so. It's a class A. They're not all the same, but generally the lower energy consumption units won't use more than a few pence a day. So where did that £7 out the £10 credit go on our Queen's box? It was eaten up in standing charges, military terminology. So yeah, just stand by. We'll put a forum on the .com, and I'll record it that way and give you updates through video. So have an excellent Saturday. I'm doing not a lot, I'll be honest with you. I'm having a rest. There's lots of rooms to tidy up here, and some odd errands to run, a couple of emails to answer, and then to the .com to check on. G-Star, Andy, Kev and Josh, I hope you're all well. Scribes, much love. B2 rang me asking if I wanted one, so I educated the salesman, and he was going to research it for himself. Coffee Paul, is that a new scribe? Thank you very much, and blessings. Excellent. God bless all. Yes, live trying again. We bless ourselves. We make our own, what's the word, luck. We are in control. Phil, informative for a Saturday morning when man's got tiny mince pies on. It is, yes. I get up sometimes and have issues. Not a very happy morning man. We're at ease here. I did just say person, I believe, but yes, in the morning I'm quite focused with my thoughts, and I'm not the most softest of men, so I have a bee in my bonnet. I don't know if there's others out there that wake up in a slow start, you know, environment, but there's enough on in life, isn't there? Imagine it like this. If I was to come into your house in broad daylight while family and you were sat down having a meal, and I was to help myself to the food in your cupboards, and I might just happen to walk past your wallet there, and I'll help myself to a few £1 notes, and then I just go out. Don't say hello as I enter. I take what I need, you know, and I leave. No, thank you. No, buy your leave. If there's no food in your cupboards and there's no money in your wallet, then I might decide to charge you, you know, and then I'll leave. No, thank you. No, nothing. And if you see my video of yesterday morning where the man in the van has brought out the conceptualization of debt, credit, bills, transfer via endorsement, not transfer via discharge. I did make a little slip there, but you must understand, when man is committed to trade 40 hours a week, has a, you know, biological family, issues, administrative, emails, websites, trusts and everything else, it's not easy. I do ask you to use your own due diligence, discovery. It's not legal advice, no way near allowed to do that. This is lawful interaction on a brotherly, sisterly hood scale. So if you're into your contract law and you understand your contract law, then this will become apparent. So have you acquiesced to the terms and conditions? No, they was never presented. Did you have an opportunity to you know, what's the word, evaluate and consider those? No, you was just given it. So you choose to accept the tenancy agreement, and within that agreement there are subsequent charges of which you are subject to via the decisions of the landlord. So the landlord decides to put these meters in to save them having tenants run off, leave outstanding accounts, damages to property and bills in the form of utility bills. So you know, you could get a phone line installed here, and you can run up bills on that and leave. You could leave rent accounts owing. So yeah, that doesn't quite protect and indemnify. You could put on the contract certain things and leave the meters in. It's not Anne-Marie's property. She's not authorised to have them removed. Now, normally when you have a property and you are the landlord, mortgage, you know, mortgagor, remember these differences, the mortgagee, and you are one that is allegedly, you know, in the mortgage buying the property, then you would have the full authority to have them removed, wouldn't you? But you don't. So it's just an interesting question. But when you go away for 7 days and you lose £7, that's on average £1 a day, what has been chewed up through charges. Now, as they are military charges and they're not honourable charges, and money is an issue, and we're all in debt, then what they're doing here is, you see, theft, more theft, by coming into your house and literally taking, on average, a few pounds a week, as well as your income tax and your savings tax and your sugar tax and your value added taxes and the taxes everywhere else. So we have those amongst us that think violence and oppression and war and such things as are the way forward, but it isn't. We have a new way forward, and it's using a sword. It is a battle, but it's an intellectual battle of the mind, of the spirit, of the soul, of integrity. And yes, thank you very much. I haven't been up long. I've decided to have a lie-in after a hefty sleep, so have a good Saturday. Thank you for your comments. Don't forget the wine. Thomas, what do you mean don't forget the wine? Bonjour, mon amis, Famaland. I had 2012 unlawful force gas prepaid on me when I bedbound broken in by police and G-Gas PLC. Wow. Okay, I need to go. Many things to be doing. Just food for thought. We'll have a check back later. We got an email, brother. Well, it's day off today. I'm afraid Saturday, no working. It's against the commandment of, I'm sorry, and I am required to have a day off. Tomorrow we'll be on it, looking at various bits and bobs, Mikes and Famalan. All is well, all is good. Maybe we'll do some videos, I don't know, tomorrow evening. We need to set a regular slot up for the health and wealth mentality, that is your competence within your own self. So we're looking to do a health and wealth show to incorporate you, bringing us your issues, family issues. Get your friends, get anybody that you might know that you want to introduce to this new world that you found, one that is based on factual, historical, you know, conceptualizations and processes that have been applied but ignored and subject to our ignorance and non-compliance. You know, we have these terrorism acts and so forth out there. They are quite farcical to say that we have a foreign military and foreign banking sector in America, in England, in London, in Washington, in Italy, in the Vatican, you know, and nobody gives a rat's ass. And you've got QE2 sat there and the presidents and the monarchies around the world with their, you know, falling out of grace with the Vatican. So that shows you the setup and the elite, the foreign military forces that are here restricting man's rights by our ignorance and acquiescence of non-disclosure. It's all quite messy, to be fair. So to the ones out there that make these farcical terminologies, just remember, none of us are combatants. None of us have signed up to anything. There's no contracts to prove anything. And unfortunately for the system, this is one of the main answers to it all. Man was born by the waters of his mother, subsequently crowned as he breached and was born. Now they classify that as a birth and they form an entity of sorts after the initial event, and the event is given a name, a time, a place, a reference, bloods are taken, documents are filled in, weights are taken. A lot of stuff happens at a born day, and afterwards, some days afterwards, there is a point of registration. At that point of registration, after the man or woman has been born, they create the entity. Now, these certificates and extracts and recordings and, registrations, record, registration, are the way that they interface us with our administrative, legal and financial areas there. So, you know, man was born first. So first in time is the first in line, maximum of equity. So your family name, your clansman name, your shaman name, you know, not your surname, but the family name of which you are associated with, which is your tribe or clan, you was there first. You can prove that, undoubtedly. So therefore, everything is yours. It is yours and yours to claim. If you don't know how to claim it, you know, along with rights, then that's where the issues arise. So not fair, not right, non-disclosed, and constant hemorrhaging money out of areas, accounts hemorrhaging. So as we said yesterday morning with that quite random update about the money to finance the debt, the banks, the mortgages, bills of exchange, transfer via endorsement and so forth, you know, when things go bad and there is no more money, and they crash the economy and this, that, the other, and we're in a bad state. What they need to release to everybody is there is another financial accounting system running parallel to the public system, which is legal tender and non-legal tender. Then you have legal tender, let me think of something to give you. Legal tender, legal currency, but not legal tender. A Scottish banknote. Here we go. A Scottish banknote. Sorry, brothers and sisters up that way, but this is the one I can only think of to use. So if someone comes with a Scottish banknote from up north and ends up in the Midlands, London, anywhere other than Scotland, and they try to present that at a shop for something, you know, and they've got an item and the bill is said, and they pass over the Scottish £10 note in England or Wales, the proprietor has the right to refuse that Scottish £10 note, because it may well be legal currency, but it isn't legal tender. So have a look into it. So what we have is the currency and tender issue, and the private going into the public, labour, and the fruits of your positive input. Forgive the terminology, I'm very tired. We're at ease, and you know, therefore you get the negative instrument back. So that may well be currency and tender and stuff like that, you know, public and private. So there is no need to panic. If you think about it, you all get one of these and you all have your thumbprint. And what we do is we put that on there. That accesses your TDA account digitally. There you go. Bosh, that's who I am. Discharge. Because you can't sign on the physical paper. There are ways and means of linking all this up technologically now, so we don't have to go crypto and into all these uncertainties, and we can keep the transfer, we can keep the charges, we can keep everything of their electrical nature running alive. So it's not the end of the world. Yes, all right, we're not in the 1800s, but lest we not forget, there was a judge who passed a sentence and a judgment on someone who may have been on a bike and knocked somebody over, and was charged and sentenced under the 1800s judgment there, billing system of governance of law, which would be death by wanton and furious driving from the 1800s. You know, these transfer via endorsements and bonds and things have been kept running, and the bills and the historical conceptualizations are there. Those that think just because time has passed means that things have changed. Okay, since the Bible was written, a long time has passed. So let's invent a new belief system, because that's quite old, isn't it? The Bible now, you know, it's the Dead Sea Scrolls, they're old. There's no point reading them anymore. They don't mean anything. Zoroastrianism, all of the, you know, historical conceptualization that we've got, there's no point believing in that anymore. We've got newer ideas and principles. The laws have changed. No, they haven't. Nothing has changed. Just the interpretation and the belief system. So we have to remember that these mothers have rules in their policy, their corporate policy, such as if a man in their game of business, you know, their venue of business, doesn't know he has any rights, he has no rights. Let he who will be deceived be deceived. Sounds like the new Sinn Féin to me, but slightly less aggressive. So interesting. Attacks on man indirectly, soft war, and these contracts and agreements, you see. Now, you always conditionally accept everything to stay in honour. When you conditionally accept, this is the part of the law that you need to grasp. You don't say, it's not me, and you don't say, okay, it's a fair cut. An example would be, somebody stops you when you are travelling and they say to you, hello there, sir, do you know what you've done wrong there? What? Hang on, you're the one making the claim. You're the one required with the burden of proof, and you decide to,
Hello there. Can you tell me what you did wrong there? Well, did wrong? Wow. What do you mean did wrong? Did wrong in whose eyes? In what capacity? What do you mean by wrong? What language do you speak when you say wrong? Now, you know, can you please, I don't know what I did wrong. As far as I'm aware, I've done nothing wrong. I'm an innocent man, and I'd like you to tell me what you think I think I should know about me doing something wrong. Very bizarre. Leading questions for those that are a little bit like a Yorkshire Terrier, and as soon as the off ices come, you're all het up and aggravated, and you know, ooh, what's he doing? You know, I'm gonna have him. Let's get filming. No, just breathe and think. Okay, then, no, you know, leading questions. So these are the parameters of where we're at, and they test. It's unfortunate, and they have nasty rules. So on the Saturday, we'd like just to talk briefly about how you can look at the areas and the you know, the ways of attack and the soft attack and the theft and the sometimes it's just, you know, not knowing anything means that you're open to attack, but you think you've got somebody out there looking out for you that's protecting you, when it's quite the opposite. So once this gets out, and once we have an intelligent, articulate mass conference in the middle of this landmass England, and we get all of the white van mans in, the lorry drivers, the workers, the ones with the mortgages, the ones with the benefit issues, the ones that are in hospital suffering torts and acquiescence of treatment and, you know, everything else, we will make an impact, because this is there. Michael Obenesia, Michael O'Dea are spearheading something fantastic and amazing after years and years and years of work. I haven't spoken to any of them. I'm loosely in the loop. We will try and get some promotions for them and advertise and get them on for a chat, a hangout. We'd need you to take a part in that, Scribes, and heavily embed it on all of the places that man might need to know. We will push forward with, I've got a nice video to bring you that I saw this morning, truly incredible. I was watching Bosnian Pyramids updates and where they're at now with the tunnels, and they're requiring volunteers, and I was just watching it about 12:30, 1 o'clock this morning, thinking, this man's on it. What we're going to listen to is a man talking about his commune and how he's building it up, and he's bought land and how they're settling down and near the Bosnian Pyramids. Got quite a lot of new information to bring out in structure, but initially we start with what is important and where we're at. But the common unity and the cooperation of ourselves is important. So yeah, I've got a lot to bring, and a lot of ideas, but forgive us while we are quiet and away from the camera and the platforms, whilst we meet in the private and we sort stuff out, and know that we are on it, and we are on the cusp of employee identification numbers, international tax identification numbers, and also certificate of extracts, certificate of creditors, certificate of information and updates on the birth general, registrar general, and certificates certified and authenticated birth, copies of birth certificates that can have A for V verbiage on. Brother B is heavily researching the A for V bills of exchange. There's quite a lot of activity in the splinter groups around, coming back and feeding in, so we are bouncing back and we are doing the best we can there. So thank you for choosing Indie. Thank you for not watching the BS on the media outlays. Sorry for the informal aware and what's going off, but these are important issues that affect every day. There was a story on the news saying that there are the holidays for school coming up, and that there's some parents and families out there that are below the line of poverty, and the government and the media casters are saying that there are families out there that rely on free school dinners, and that when you're on a holiday at the schools and you don't get your free school dinners, then there's going to be hardship about, well, unforgivable, and you know about it and you report about it, but nothing gets done. You know, a bit like the song for the earth. They'll sing about the earth and they'll get all these famouses in and they'll make an account and they look like they care, but really it's just a facade. So there is much to be done. Hardship is coming to be arrested when a boat is not allowed to go out and sail in Admiralty, Maritime, you know, uniform commercial code, it will be arrested and it will be detained in port. So let's arrest this development, this devolution that's at hand, and let's educate, let's join together. And yes, these little things are the cruxes to stopping the cogs in the machine. Once enough of us start putting forward the correct things, and the data subject access request, the beauty about them is they're governed by the Independent Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, and also the trading standards. And the fair trading standards operate in the trading standards of the Commercial Admiralty Maritime, UCC, and then you've got trade here in the private. These are the commercial, subject to commercial, UK contract, commercial, CEO, CFO, public, consumer credit, land, Westminster, Whitehall legislation, man, God, land, private, interfacing via agents to that and coming back. They cannot come this way without an invitation, a bit like a vampire. Can't, well, not that I've ever met one, allegedly. They can't come in unless you open. And you open and invite them in. That's your contract, isn't it? Hello there. All right, how you doing, pal? What, you all right? Yeah, come in. Next thing, you've invited him in. I know it's weird, but same thing. You want a bloodsucker into your life, then invite them in. This is what we're saying. Bloodsuckers, Club of Rome, go home. Much love, family. We're sending them packing. And yes, London, city of, I hope you're hearing all this, because mans are going to get educated. They're not going to be fearful. They're not going to be violent. They're not going to get Semtex and call themselves the new sovereign, something renegade movement, and start blowing up because we're peaceful. We're under the creator. You mean no harm. I mean no harm. But this what would we call it? Cloaked, Klingon system, a Klingon cloaking Club of Rome, blood-sucking, letting device is out there in such fantastic, invisible capacities. Well, we'll stand there. We won't wear a mask, Anonymous, and we will involve, and we will put it to you that we're under attack. There's a military terrorism. I would like to lay claims that there's a lot of terrorists out there and they're operating in a legal capacity unlawfully. Boom. Public notice to the landmass, England and Wales. We have a terrorist alert coming from the Club of Rome, living in London, and York. There's a lot based in York. That's why you have the New York Stock Exchange. And yes, they're not exclusively housed in London. I would like to argue they're scattered all over, but York's a very interesting place. Yes, the York Right, I would argue, and New York. We're forward, we say it, we make mistakes. Take me on every word. The concept's there. Peace and love, fam. Happy Saturday. That's it. Thomas, I've got you, Michael. Okay. Snake Pit, new scribe, thank you. Physical battle would be hard to win. They have all the firepower. There's been a lot of blood. And a lot of our forefathers lose their lives. A lot of battles. The Georgia Guidestones tell it you. A lot of things going off here. A lot of proclamations. And, we will proclaim and say our way, our belief. And you can either agree or not. Nonna, I have a card, I believe, from you. I'm going to open that later. Hello there. Good morning. Good rising, sister. P. Hendricks of the Hendricks clan. Even monthly payments to suppliers ends up with them attempting to steal money off their customers with a fishy promise, giving them 3% interest over. Yeah, there are agents operating, so yeah, we're not customers at all. Parents, yeah, Pie Man. New scriber, Mon Reich, is it? Now of the Nelson fam. You've got your caps on shouting, and yous are all stupid. So you've made a claim. You don't know us. So thanks for that. New scribe thinks we're all stupid enough to pay these extortion racket rip-off. You don't ever. So don't assume, don't presume when you're a new scribe and you come into a new fam, first impressions count, and you seem quite aggressive. You've got your caps on. You assume, thank you. And it's been deleted. Okay there. Mickey Finn, chin chin. Bosh to you and the scribes. Service, gas and electric should still be a public service, as drinking water was before they took all the water fountains away and bottled. to replace them. Sleepers must awaken. The alphas, not the sleepers, the alphas, alpha males, alpha females are awake. Private comms research gypsy values. Okay, Paul, thank you. Paul J of the J tribe, and Paul of the coffee tribe. Only drink distilled water, detox. Easier said than done. Access to that, as Jack Fresco says, you know, we need access to things, and the environment's got it. You got everybody who's collecting water from the rain out there. Boom, there you go. You're one of our thinking tribe. Ones that collecting rainwater out there and utilising what the environment gives and trying to save on everything. That's how we think. So, yeah, you could, but getting access to it is very hard. You'd argue it falls from the sky and you can collect it yourself. You can, and others are. Not everybody. So we need to work out these ways and means and, you know, common unities, cooperatives that we need to form in a community-based environment. So as we have a non-de jure and de facto court and government system here, how's about we do a call out this weekend and over the next week? We'd like to install a de facto, wow, I'm that used to saying it. It'd be an idea to install a real de jure government, court, and a non-de facto government there. So how's about we say that we'll take a couple of men from each continent landmass, and we'll put together a de jure one via our private ways. Yes, how's about man puts in a project. One of the first emails I used was UK Freedom Projects at Gmail. So UK Freedom Project, along the lines of that, a Realm Freedom Project, where we established a real government, as I pointed out about they are private foreign bodies and entities calling themselves. So if you make a business and you call it the government of the United States and the government of the United Kingdom, then that's a company. You put that company in the public realm and the public believe that that's the real, you know, then it's not, you know, that's all we are simply implying there. So I'd like to put a call out to every country, and I'd like 2 to 3 scribes from every country that have got some knowledge and some care and some ability, some transferable skills. And what you can say is we would like to offer out a representative, emissaries, ambassadors from every country, and then we will collate those names and we'll have another hangout. We'll get everybody in and we will have a chat, and we will put together all of the names, and we will get together and see where we can work and what we can do on a cooperative community realm-wide linked up basis. So we would form a self-aware, self-governing, yeah, we are governed, would be self-governed, private, you know, because we're not going to be in the general public and with the public liabilities, private, you know, assembly and council in treaties, declarations, bosh, easy as that. So anybody that wants to have a part in that, when we've asked before for diplomats, trustees, you know, trustees in the form of law, not the legal and that crap, you know, our emissaries, ambassadors, diplomats, that's what we're looking at here for these. You're already doing it without knowing it, like everybody is a common law sheriff in a way, because when you go about your daily duties, if you see any harm, injury and loss occurring and you don't do anything about it, but you see it, you are complicit by, you know, by guilty by association for allowing it to happen. So these are the rules, I'm afraid, of the realm that we have, and if we don't operate with them, then it goes against us. Vampire Mickey Finn, his invisible friend is making his hands dance. Dad, okay, son, what area of the government do you intend to work in? Yes, which is not the government, it's a corporation, so let's have a government. Greetings, Lux, Reese. So yeah, we're all under war, under siege at the minute. Bosh, bosh. Peace and love. Thank you, Sobs. That'll do for now for the 34 in the room in the house, and for the 10 thumbs up. We'll be back later once we've woke up and stopped ranting, and yeah, we'll be in touch. Thank you all